Friends of the Rockford Mass Transit District know that an East Side Transfer Center has been a long time in the making. From the birth of the idea in 2000 to the breaking of ground in 2010, many people have had a hand in bringing this idea and now this building to life. Many people have been able to follow the progress of this building on our website, but today we're going to bring you the final chapter as we complete this building. Let's start our journey as we walk around to the outside of the building. John, as you know, the East Side Transfer Center, with its proximity to I-90, is going to bring us visitors with all modes of transportation, including bicycles. I know your firm thought about that and provided us with these bike lockers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. As you mentioned, RMTD had a concern about people accessing the site to use the facility and obviously then to ride the buses. So they wanted to accommodate various forms of people accessing the site, from pedestrians to autos. And then, of course, a unique feature if people wanted to come to the site via bicycle. And so we researched the availability of lockers that you see right here to provide safety and security for those individuals that want to ride their bikes here. So they can come in the morning, say, perhaps then they access or they go to work via the bus, and they can put their bikes in these lockers and they're secure all day. And then when they return home at night, they just simply take their bike out and head home.
So I guess the bike lockers are going to be a nice feature for anybody using public transportation, including the neighbors. John, are there any other features you'd like to point out about this building?
Certainly, because there are several different features here and some quite unique. Like right here in this canopy that was created to provide shelter to people being dropped off at the facility. We've introduced a skylight as a feature to provide natural light back into the space because it is so deep. The other advantage is that it actually saves energy because during the day when the sun is shining and the light's coming into the space, we don't have to have artificial light to provide light necessary to see as you access the building.
It really is a beautiful architectural element, and who doesn't love sunlight? Well, as we're entering the building, you can see behind us is the bus berthing area. There's 6 bays out there for 6 individual buses. It's Rockford Mass Transit District's hope that eventually we will grow to accommodate all 6 of those bays with transportation services to the east and to the north and throughout the city of Rockford. But the truly unique feature about the outside is the canopy. What can you tell me about that, John?
Well, the canopies were designed first and foremost to provide protection from the elements for the riders that will be accessing the bus bays through these doors. Of course, the reason being, obviously in our climate, we have rain, we have snow, but we also have the heat of the summer sun, which will also protect the riders as they access the buses. One of the design elements that we try to incorporate into the canopy supports were being in this natural environment that we're surrounded by with the creek and the trees. The thought was that as the structure rose up, the actual support of the canopy would be with this tree-like structure, and that thus you can see is kind of the limbs coming out of the top of the structure.
On a day like today when there's no leaves on the trees, you can really see how you capture that design element. That's great. Well, there's certainly a beautiful view as passengers sit in this beautiful waiting area. We will be able to accommodate up to 80 passengers in this area. Passengers are also going to be able to buy tickets and get their photo IDs taken at the counter. And we also have a beautiful design element here in this compass. It's a terrazzo compass laid in the floor. What can you tell us about it, John?
Well, the concept behind this, which is really, it's a piece of art on the floor. I mean, if you look at it, it's been coordinated color-wise with the other terrazzo floor and the other colors that were selected for the lobby itself. And as another unique feature, anybody in the lobby can really get a sense of where they are because it is set to true direction, north, south, east, and west.
Well, that is great. Beautiful and functional. That truly is what architecture is all about.
Yes, it is.
Some of our passengers are going to have quite a bit of a wait, up to an hour, perhaps an hour and a half, while they're waiting for the buses. So we decided to take that in mind and give them some creature comforts in our vending area here. We have vending machines for snacks and beverages. We have a microwave so they can heat up their snacks, or they can get change, buy a lottery ticket, or use the ATM machine. So this is kind of an all-purpose creature comfort room for our passengers.
And that's really some nice amenities to offer your riders. When we were designing the lobby space and then this space right off of that space, the idea was to keep it as open and connected to the lobby so that if people are in here getting a snack or some money from the ATM, they're never out of sight of what might be happening and when their bus might be arriving. So that was the idea of keeping it as open as possible.
Really was a good thought, because you certainly don't want to be missing your bus after you've had an hour wait. Now, John, as we leave this area, directly beyond these walls is a police substation where we'll have Rockford Police presence. We also have a security desk in our lobby, so our passengers can always be comfortable in the knowledge that they will be safe and secure. We also have an area that's not quite finished yet, that we are hoping to have as retail space. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. And the idea behind that space was that perhaps a gift shop or small retail store could go in there, or even a restaurant. The thought being that not only could the restaurant serve passengers that are coming here, but also the community. And as this area grows and more people move into this area, I think that really is a viable use of this space.
Well, the last space we're coming upon, John, is our community room, which we designed to make available to the community. Can you share your thoughts with us on how this came about?
Sure. It was RMTD's desire to provide a space that would provide some flexibility for meetings for community groups, and I think that that was a nice gesture on the part of RMTD to do that and provide such a nice space for that function. Some of the features of this space are that we have glass on both sides to the south and to the north. We also have this V window that faces west, which is really kind of a nice feature, not only on the inside of this space, but on the outside of the building as well. And if there's a need to have some audiovisual presentations in here, we also have darkening screens or shades that come down over the windows. We have a ceiling mounted screen and provisions for a projection from the ceiling as well. Also, we provided space here if people wanted to have catering. There's that option also for them. But again, I think it's just a very nice space, and again, I think RMTD, it was a nice gesture on their part to provide this for community use.
Well, thank you. We hope it serves that function, and you've given us some beautiful elements in this room, as with the rest of this building. We've got space for community groups. Our passengers are going to be waiting in a beautiful waiting area. We've got creature comforts with our canopies, and the building itself just incorporates natural elements in a beautiful way. So we are very grateful to Larson and Darby for designing such a beautiful building for our Eastside Transfer Center.
Well, and I would also say it was our pleasure to be part of your team in creating this very unique and functional facility for the community.
Thanks, John.